You see this paper grocery sack right here? Something near completely unexplainable this morning happened with this grocery sack that made this day start out ridden with anxiety and fear, downright terror. I'm going to show you a video clip right now so you'll understand where that anxiety, fear, and terror came from. Imagine if you picked up this footage on one of your hidden security cameras that records just outside the back door of your house. Now, I do appear in this video, and this was very early this morning, so forgive me for I still had my pajamas and my nightcap on. But watch this. How terrifying was that? Huh? Oh. So you can imagine how I felt this morning while I was inside enjoying my coffee, getting ready to eat breakfast with my family when I heard such a loud clutter coming from the woodshed just outside the back door. I ran out and saw nothing. I assumed maybe a raccoon or a possum had been in the woodshed yet again, knocking over wood. But as you just saw from the footage with your own eyes, it was anything but. We have cameras hidden, some not so hidden, all over our property. I want to point out to you, it's gone. I was going to tell you to keep your eye on something. I'm seeing things. We have cameras all over our property. This is a result of having to have dealt with an annoying neighbor a few years ago when we first bought this property. Now, minded, we didn't actually put cameras up to get rid of this individual. We simply put up a note written to him with his name on it that he was being recorded because we had every reason to believe he was coming on our property and messing around when we weren't here, snooping around, trying to figure out where we might be because we didn't tell him where we were going. It was very creepy and got very annoying, and it went across the borderline of harassment. So This story of this note getting rid of this neighbor was told here on our channel to our then roughly 200 subscribers, because one of our subscribers had asked if we knew how to get rid of annoying neighbors after we had made a video on how to get rid of gnats, which, by the way, I just dealt with my first one here for the year. It's mid-March as of this recording. Like yourselves watching, my family and I have been on home quarantine, self-imposed here, because of this coronavirus pandemic that's going on, and I have reason to believe this is a big part of the story behind this bag that I found up here only a short while ago, several hours after the video you just saw was filmed, while I'm up here planting yet more trees in our meadow, reforesting part of our property that had been used for hay for many years. By the end of March, we will have once again planted just over 1,000 trees this spring, something we've done every year since we've been here. So anyway, the video of that note it's really hard telling these stories up here with... Have I asked you guys to get my 6 today? Getting a lot of strange noises back here in the forest behind me. Back behind this X. Keep looking. So anyway, our channel blew up. Millions of people saw that. I had no clue how many annoying neighbors there were out there and how many people were interested in trying to figure out how to get rid of them. And now here we are, as of this recording, closing in on 200,000 subscribers. People started saying, you know what, you might really want to put some cameras up because this guy's probably going to see this video. So after people that actually do live out here around us started telling us they saw the video, we assumed he may eventually see it also, so we did put up cameras. We never took them down. They're everywhere. Some of them have disappeared, I'll put it that way. But as you saw from the film earlier, the one just outside the back door is still in place and still in use. So when I saw that footage, it wasn't the first time I've seen that creature on video. And if you've followed this channel for any length of time, it's not the first time you've seen that mysterious creature on video either. Though it did take a slightly different shape today, or there's something a bit different about it. Almost as if it had a little helper with it. And that's the first time I've captured it on video taking anything. So here we go. 3 or 4 hours later, I'm up here planting trees. I make it to the top of our meadow, just to the wood line, and I see the bag that we saw, the mysterious, ghostly figure taking out of our woodshed in that video. We keep paper grocery sacks in there and other things we use for fire, tinder, kindling, the actual fuel, the firewood. So we like to use paper grocery sacks. We hate plastic, but when we do have excess, we'll put them out there and at times use them to start the fires on our wood stoves. So I come up, I'm planting trees, I see the bag. Here's the significance at this location. This bag is leaned up against the base of a roughly 15 to 20 year old locust tree that we use as a gifting tree. In the past, we've left seashells, walnuts, vegetables that we've grown mostly, little trinkets as gifts here at this locust tree. Many of them have gone missing, not all. Some of them have been recovered in very odd places. Particular lair, potential lair comes to mind when I think of where we found some of these things. But this is one of only 2 times I can distinctly remember he, she, it, or they bringing something to us. Take that back. This is the 3rd. Once there was a mysterious box on the back porch at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:33, a gift we couldn't keep. But even before that, more than a year and a half ago, he, she, it, or they brought us something we had misplaced. One day, while my son was in school, my wife and I were playing with his brand new drone about this big. We flew it up in our front field and it ended up getting stuck in the top of a white pine that's that was, before it was potentially thrown at our house a few months after this, about 200 feet tall. The very next morning, that drone was sitting right at our back door on a porch that has an awning that goes out 20 feet in any direction. So it simply is not possible that that drone fell from the top of that tree and landed at our doorstep. What we have this morning with this bag, I believe, potentially is gift number 3 from these strange creatures that may or may not live in the woods behind our home. Oh, I'm going to show you exactly what's in that bag. But first I'm going to explain to you why I believe him, her, it, or they brought us this. This spring, aside from planting more than 1,000 trees as we do every spring, we're also working diligently not just in our gardens, but in his, her, it, or their gardens. In that, we have decided this year to plant, I think it's 13,000 pounds of food if it all grows to maturity, if it gets to the point of being harvestable. 13,000 pounds of food we're planting randomly around our property. We've recently planted carrots in a very odd location where I'm hesitant to even venture too many times. We've planted all the cold weather vegetables you could think of because we're not quite to our last frost yet. We're still a month away. So we've planted basically things that grow underground. Beets, radishes, some low above ground vegetables such as lettuce, cauliflower, broccoli. And of course we planted fruit trees all over the place. We're trying to be kind to him, her, it, or they. We don't want to rush to judgment, and we don't want to expel these creatures if they are indeed here. And if they are indeed here, they obviously have been here long before us. Who are we to come in and say, hey, this is our land, you get out? We're being kind, we're being nice. We may never be remembered for any achievements, but as long as we're remembered as being nice, that's okay, because we live in a world where that matters. So just yesterday, me and my beautiful bride Dearly, as our loyal subscribers know as Giggly Girl, and our son were out here planting vegetables, and we were talking about how we hope these mysterious creatures that may or may not live in the forest surrounding our home, creatures which potentially could be Bigfoot, Sasquatch, we hope they appreciate these vegetables, or him or her, or it if there's only one that is binary. Further, we talked about life on self-imposed quarantine. We're socially distancing, just like so many of you out there right now, as the world faces a massive pandemic with COVID-19 coronavirus. We were talking about how this isn't too difficult for us because we generally go out of our way to socially distance anyway. It's one of the reasons we chose to live out in the middle of nowhere with no one around, so we could be left alone. However, we did voice our concerns about the potential of food shortages. We're not too concerned because we do grow much of our own. We have a pond filled with fish, plenty of wildlife around here if we let's just say there's no shortage of foodstuffs in this area. But we did have the conversation right along the wood line, because this is a conversation being had around the world right now. I can't help but think that him, her, it, or they were listening. And when I show you the contents of this bag, I think you'll agree. This also shows that being nice pays off. I mean, we're doing it with no expectations of anything in return because that's the the best and only true reason to do it. It's not because you want something in return. We certainly don't. We just think it's the right thing to do. You know, I've got to point out, this grocery bag is from Trader Joe's. We were there yesterday getting a few odds and ends we wanted to make sure we had, because we don't know how much longer a lot of the stores are going to stay open. And I want to plug them here. I'm not being paid to promote them, but they had a sign out that said, "Be mindful of your neighbors. Don't purchase more than 2 of any item. Let's save some for our friends." That's the only sign like that I've seen at any grocery store during this crisis. And I said to my beautiful bride dearly, aka Giggly Girl, I said, "Honey, I know we don't come here much because we're not that much into really carrot juice and all the kind of oddities they sell here that I know are healthy, that we should be." I said, "But after reading this sign, we're going to come here more regularly." Now, with that said, I mean, you'll see the irony behind this when I show you what him, her, it, or they left for us in this Trader Joe's grocery sack at the gifting tree. This morning, after seeing that video footage that you witnessed yourself, I thought I was being stolen from. But alas, nay, it appears as if I have been gifted. You know what's in this bag? I'm going to show you. This, for me, is confirmation that he, she, it, or they were listening. And already, before any of the 13,000 pounds worth of vegetables that we're planting for them, or him, or her, or it, this spring, is already being appreciated. Look what they left for him, or her, or it. Oh, they left you weeds, Crazy Lake? Oh, they left you pretty little flowers? Is that what you see? You see weeds, you see flowers? You know what I see? 2 things. Number 1, food. For this is not a weed, though most of you are probably mowing it down as it comes up this spring. This is called purple dead nettle. It's edible, and it has inside a natural antihistamine. Tastes good too. So while you're out and about, working in your garden, working in your yard, if the pollen gets to you, eat some purple dead nettle. The antihistamine takes good care of it. Also in this bag, wild chives. So if you try the purple dead nettle and you're not a fan of the flavor, flavor it up. From the leek family, tastes like green onions, because that's what they are, the wild version. So you see, this mysterious ghostly figure indeed was not stealing from us. We are showing kindness to everyone and everything with no expectation of anything in return. However, the universe being as mysterious as it is, we are receiving kindness in return for ours. Remember this through this crisis. Be kind to everyone and everything. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the PBS. The Potential Bigfoot Sasquatch Show.